Hey guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast. I'm YouTube famous now. You'll understand why that's funny in a second. Available in 2029 and a half, 0.5.3. The album, Peter Brady's version. Dad, AF, rock on, gold dust woman. So, I just went through the Panera Bread to do a little review for my review channel. And the girl that was working in the drive-thru, she was telling me about how she used to almost be musically famous. And so I was like, do you watch YouTube? You have to go over and watch it. It's real funny. It's real funny. It's true comedy. It's true humor. But anyway, I was like, do you watch YouTube? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, have you ever heard of Peter Monn? And she was like, I think I might have. I don't know. Is he a comedian? I said, oh yeah, he's real funny. He's YouTube famous of the world. Anyway, so go watch that review channel over there. I also announced the winner of the Bath & Body Works giveaway that I did. I'm doing all kinds of giveaways over there. I'm actually doing an entire month of giveaways starting the Friday after Thanksgiving. So you're going to want to go check out that channel, Peter Reviews Stuff. And if you didn't know, I also have a daily vlog where I vlog for an hour every day. And I also have a booktube channel where I talk about all books, okay? And I have a true crime book club called Peter's Book Club where we read a different true crime book every month. This month we are reading, it is called The Iceman Confessions of a Mafia Hitman by Philip Carlo. And I also have my channel Peterisms, which is where I read like meditations and tell stories about my life and things I've learned and things like that. So I have 5 I'm very busy, okay? I'm very busy. So anyway, okay, let's get into today's drama. So I said this in a vlog the other day. For those of you that don't watch my vlog, I had to make a little out-of-town trip for like 36 hours. I'm back. I'm back in baby's arms. But I'm back, okay, for Halloween week here. And I was standing in the airport last night and I was charging my phone and I was watching, and it was like I was getting ready to leave right as, where's my coffee at? You know, listen, my videos are like we're just sitting up in the kitchen, up in Martika's kitchen, and we're just sitting around, we're drinking coffee and we're talking, or whatever. I don't know, whatever. You're Robert Mondavi, whatever you drink. Oh, now I gotta say the White Claw. If y'all drink the White Claw or doing whatever you do, you know, we're just sitting around there. I said to my husband the other day, because, you know, I haven't drank in 24 years and 10 months because I've been sober that long. And I said, what does a White Claw taste like? Because he had one. He didn't really care for it. But anyway, he goes, it tastes kind of like a Sprite with different flavors in it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't care for all that. I was a little bit more hardcore. But anyway, that's why I don't drink anymore, okay? Because it wasn't about the Zimas. It wasn't, he goes, it's kind of like a Zima. Do you remember the Zimas? Yeah, I didn't, the Zimas weren't where it was at for me. But anyway, so I'm standing in the airport and there's literally all of these people around me, right? And there's like this like 6 charger thing and I have got my phone charged into it and I'm sitting there because I'm, you know, working. That's what I do. I watch videos and then I react to them. It's called work, okay? Right, as if. Anyway, I'm sitting there in the airport and I've got my phone down like this and this woman comes over and she's like, sees what I'm watching, she goes, like that. I was like, oh my God, what? I want to know what she thinks about all this. So anyway, so I watched the entire episode at the airport last night before I got on the plane to head back. And then I was like thinking about it on the plane. Well, I was actually watching 3 from Hell, which is the sequel to The Devil's Rejects, which is the 3rd part of the series, or the trilogy, maybe, of Rob Zombie's horror film, The House of 1,000. I found out it's called House of 1,000 Corpses, not House of 1,000 Corpses. So I was thinking about that as I was watching that movie on the plane last night. I was thinking about the series and what I thought about it. So I have a lot of mixed feelings about this episode of the series. Now, if you have watched my reaction videos, you know that back and forth I kind of just like, you know, have with the series. But like I've said, every episode I'm like, oh my God, this is my favorite episode. Oh my God, this is my favorite episode. And then I'm like, I watch the next episode. I'm like, oh my God, this is my favorite episode. This was not my favorite episode, okay? It's real easy for me to say that. In fact, I got real distracted at times watching it. I found myself kind of just like, you know, looking around the airport and seeing what kind of shoes and bags people were carrying and stuff like that. It just wasn't my favorite episode. I didn't think it was a bad episode. It just wasn't my most, I wasn't the most interested in it out of the whole series. And I felt like it was 50 minutes long. I felt like it was 40 minutes Shane picking out the palette component, which that piece was interesting to me, kind of, but I didn't think that it needed to take 40 minutes. And then the other piece was talking about Morgan Adams, which I'm going to talk about in a second, because that was very interesting to me that Shane decided to weave Morgan into this whole thing. And why maybe he did, I'm going to leave it up to you and let you guys wonder about that. But when it came up, I was like, is this shade to Manny? And I'm going to explain that in just a second. So, let me tell you guys what I liked about it. I actually thought it was really, really interesting to see the whole, the picking of the packaging and things like that, and on and on and on. I thought it was interesting that Jeffree was like, yeah, I didn't like any of them either, but I wanted to hear you say that. And him like leaving it up to Jeffree, or leaving it up to Shane, for Shane to pick it. You know, it kind of reminded me of, you know, have you ever had like these mentors in your life that it's very much like Karate Kid, like wash on, wash off, where you're learning a lesson through what you're doing, not being told how to do it, but like, you know, like, let me show you how to do it, not tell you how to do it. And I really feel like that's a lot of what Jeffree is doing. In fact, I think this is like a lot of what Shane is doing. And it was really interesting because Keemstar, from Drama Alert, put out a tweet, and he said something to the effect of, thank you for the series, you're teaching a whole new generation about how to be an entrepreneur, and you're developing this whole new generation of people that want to be entrepreneurs. And I think that's really like a wise statement. It's really true, you know, that this whole series is really getting a lot of the younger generation to be like, you know, thinking to themselves, like, I can start a business, or I can start this, or I can, you know, take a dream and I can go. And I think that is a fantastic thing that is coming from this series. And I think that what Jeffree was trying to show Shane in this episode was, dude, you gotta stand up for yourself, okay? You gotta have your own voice. And I think that's been a lot of what he's kind of been showing through this, you know, with the merch and all of that. And then going into this episode where Shane was like, he didn't really like any of these. And it kind of goes back to when he really didn't like any of the, what do you call it? The logos for the packaging, but he was like, didn't want to come out really and say anything because he didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. In business, you're going to hurt some people's feelings, okay? And when it's your name on it, and like, this is one thing that I think the beauty industry needs to learn from this series, is that when your name is on it, you better be cutthroat about it, okay? Because at the end of the day, your name is on whatever is going out there. And we have seen careers lost, okay? Like Jaclyn Hill's career was almost lost over the fact that her name was on this, you know, these lipsticks, which a lot of people have had issues with. So your name at the end of the day, Shane Dawson's name is on this. So I wouldn't want anything to go out unless it was, you know, like how I wanted it to be if I was of that level and things like that. So I thought that was really interesting. Then they showed him like working out because he's wanting to get ready for this, you know, whatever, this photo shoot and things like that. One of the things I will tell you that, like, for me, whenever I hear Shane do it, it's just, it kind of like, it's like, like to me, because I do the same thing, is that he is so self-deprecating. And what I mean by that is that he puts himself down a lot, you know, and I do that too. And I think that, and I think many of us do, and I think it's a huge sign of insecurity. I think Shane, that's why he showed it on the video, was to talk about his insecurities, you know. I think there's something to be said about owning your insecurities though. And I loved when he was like working out. This was like one of my favorite parts of the episode, honestly. And he said his goal for the day was that he wasn't going to say anything negative about himself. I'm like, I say that to myself all the time. Like, that is a really hard thing to do, is to go throughout the entire day and not criticize yourself negatively one time. I thought that was really such a powerful point. And then it kind of went into this whole Morgan Adams thing, and that's what I want to talk about. So this Morgan Adams thing was interesting to me. Was it interesting to anybody else? Like, I didn't really understand how it fit into the series. At first, I was like, okay, they're not going to address the drama. Like, when I was like 20 minutes into this episode, I really thought they were going to start talking about the drama. Now, I think what they're going to do is they're going to wait until after the palette comes out, and then they're going to address the drama from Dramageddon 2. Here's the thing, okay? Jeffree Star's career was greatly impacted by the situation with James Charles and Tati Westbrook, okay? Greatly. He was in the middle of it. He made a video about it, on and on and on. He had a lot of things to say on Twitter. If it is not addressed in this series called The Beautiful World of Jeffree Star, which was a year of his life, with this palette and everything, I will not understand why it was not addressed, okay? I don't know if there's legal behind the scenes that Shane can't talk about it, whatever. But the fact that he didn't talk about it, and we're at episode 5 and episode 6 is coming out, I don't think that he will. And a lot of people are speculating that they think that the reason that he's not is that they're going to let James's stuff come out, Toddy's stuff come out, and then Shane and Jeffree's. And once everybody has had a chance to come out, sell out, and all that kind of stuff, then Shane and Jeffree are going to drop the drama stuff. And that's actually really fair. And I think that if they do it that way, I think it's really fair to all parties. And I think it's probably the right way to do it, in all honesty. So the Morgan thing to me seemed a little bit like they were trying to maybe like drag out some, I don't know, some editing or video or whatever. I wasn't really clear on why they did it. And so that's what I thought at first. And I started watching this. And so he's bringing her into this and whatever. And they go in and they talk about this brand trip that she talked about. Well, as soon as they start talking about this brand trip, I was like, what? So they go in, okay, now I have a feeling there's a lot of people that don't know about this because I have forgotten about this, okay? And I have looked high and low, but I cannot find it, right? So, but I have receipts. I'm sure somebody out there will send it to me after I make this video. So anyway, she starts talking about this brand trip and how these people weren't very nice to her, and she felt like she really had to like keep up with like the looks and the fillers and all this kind of stuff. It was interesting to me that Shane wanted Jeffree to have this conversation with her. I think that the point was kind of missed. I don't know. Like, for me, I think that what Shane was really trying to prove was be yourself, because whoever you are is where you're going to be successful, right? Like, own your truth, own who you are, and that will catapult you to success. Don't be a carbon copy of somebody else. You know what I mean? Like what Janis Joplin says, you know, you're all you've got. Never compromise yourself. I think that's what he was really trying to get at in this episode. That's what I think he wanted to get from Jeffree Star. But the fact that the Jeffree Star comment about the fillers and all that kind of stuff, I was like, you're talking to somebody that like literally has music out that glorifies plastic surgery. I have no issues with plastic surgery. My dad's a plastic surgeon, so I have no issues with it whatsoever. Hey, listen, get as many fillers as you want if that makes you feel good. But I think that the whole idea behind this episode was do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because somebody else wants you to be a carbon copy of it. And I think that's why Jeffree was pulled into this, because Jeffree is such a good example of look how you want to look because you want to look that way, not because somebody else tells you you have to look that way to be successful. And I think that that's what, like, the importance of own yourself, own your truth, feel beautiful in your own skin. Like, I thought that message was so empowering in this episode. I loved it. And I loved that Morgan was the example of that. Now, I'm somebody that's gone and watched some of Morgan's videos. I have to say, like, her videos to me are not like, I don't go to them and I think, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, she's like the most fantastic YouTuber in the entire world. But I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day. And it's like, I think that Morgan really is kind of like that girl that we all know, you know? And I think that, like, if she took her channel, because her channel is a lot like her and Ryland, I looked the other day, they're like trying like Dollar General food, and then it's like carving pumpkins and things like that, funny carving pumpkins, and they're kind of like those kind of videos. I really think if like, and I think that what Shane's wanting to tell her is be yourself, like reinvent yourself on your channel. And when I heard it, I was like, yes, yes, own yourself, own your truth, because I think she is so delightful in her own manner that I think that what people like about her is she's a girl that we all know. She's everybody's friend, right? And so I think if we saw more of that come out on her channel, I think she would catapult already. But there was some like comment about how these like people on this influencer trip were kind of jealous of her and about her success and whatever. And I think like if we're going to be really fair to this whole situation, I mean, we have to, let's be fair, okay? Morgan's been on YouTube for a little bit over a year now, right? I mean, the fact that Shane Dawson is engaged to her brother probably does not hurt Morgan Adams' YouTube channel. I'm just saying, okay? Let's just be for real about this for a second, right? But I do think that she's very delightful and that she could have her own, you know, success. But I would like to see her get very real on camera. Like, that's the Morgan that I would really like to see, you know? Like, I'd like to see her sit down and just get really real. But this was what was interesting to me about this. When they started talking about the brand trip, so here, I hope you waited till 14 minutes and 33 seconds because this is where the shade comes in. When they started talking about that, I was like, oh my God, I had so many people that sent me this picture, okay, that Morgan posted on her Instagram or Snapchat or something that like literally took down within like an hour or 24 hours or something. And it was her and Manny and a couple other people from the Tarte Cosmetics trip to Hawaii. And that was the trip they were talking about in the video, okay? They were talking about the Tarte trip that she went to, and Manny Mua was on the trip. So when they were talking about beauty influencers or beauty gurus, were they talking about Manny Mua? So I went back and looked because I wanted to fact check that I was correct about this. So I went in here and I looked, and here is the picture that Manny posted. And he posted this on March 5th. And it says underneath here, having the time of my life in Hawaii with Tarte Cosmetics. Thank you so much for having me. Repping their new High Tides and Good Vibes palette that just came out, okay? So that's his picture from the Tarte Cosmetics thing. Then Morgan, she posted, hold on a second. I don't have the date on this, do I? March 6th, the very next day, she posted this picture. And she put underneath here, currently crying in my hotel room because I'm having a full circle moment. And she goes in and tells this very, very personal story, okay? And it was beautifully, beautifully written. And then at the very end, she says, coming from the most average person alive, if you don't have a dream, I hope you go for it. And I hope you don't let other people change what you want in your heart. And to every person who is supportive of or not, I love you so much. Thank you, Tarte, for the amazing trip. It meant so much more to me than just some cool makeup products. And they also just launched a cool High Tides Good Vibes palette and adopted me as Sea Turtle, blah, 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 Tarte Cosmetics. Okay. Which was interesting to me that she wrote this, like, I mean, if you go hers compared to other people's, like theirs is literally like 2 sentences and hers is like a huge paragraph, right? Of this glowing story. Which, first of all, is so endearing. I wish that's what she would do in her videos. I wish, like, that would be who she... Not every video, but, like, that would be a part of who she would show. But I was like, so you have this horrible time on this trip, but then this is what you wrote underneath your picture? Like, this is interesting to me. Like, it doesn't go along with the story that you say. But, you know, like, let me tell you about these influencer people anyway. I think Shane has already shown this, right? When he was doing the Jake Paul documentary, and they went to the house, the influencer house, where basically, and I didn't know this is how it worked, okay? So basically, all these Instagram people are like put up in this house and whatever, and like, I think like their payment for staying in the house is a certain percentage of what being used. But like, let's say if you're throwing a party, okay, in Las Vegas, and somebody says, I need a lot of influencers, they send out like 10 influencers and they get paid for like, you know, showing up or whatever, and they take all these pictures, you know, and that's what it is. It's all smoke and mirrors. It is all smoke and mirrors. And I really think that Shane is slowly wanting to pull open the veil of the BS behind YouTube and Instagram and all of it. And I applaud that. Like that, I wish that would be an entire series of its own. Because it is such crap. And it's setting up these kids for total failure to think that they can have this dream that very few people have. It's really like this phenomenon of like, if you're like an Antonio Garza or like an Emma Chamberlain or like a Tana Mojo, it's this total, or like a Jake Paul, it's a total phenomenon that happens, right? To very, very few people. And so I think what he's showing is that there's like this influencer world is crap. Don't fall into it. Don't feel like you have to be your own person. Those people that are their own people, you know, like... There was a line in this movie for 3 from Hell that I was watching last night, and it was from Rob Zombie's wife, Sherry Moon Zombie. I love her so much. She is one of the most fantastic actresses. But she's talking to this guy, and she says something like, my daddy said that different is... people that are different are very, very special to the universe or this world or something like that. And it's true. Like, embrace your difference. Be weird. Be yourself. And when you look at these people, okay, Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, they are 2 people that have really embraced being who they are and have been successful as a result. And I think that's what people relate to in that, is that they just so bad want to be themselves. And I think that that works for them. And I think that's really what the message of this episode was. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the palette tonight. Listen, like in an hour and a half is the palette reveal, and I can't wait. I can't wait to buy the palette. I'm going to probably buy 1 or 2 and give them out over here, so you're going to stay tuned. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.